I'll bring this up. This happened last week with a little bit of an update, but we haven't talked about it yet. So Sage Steele, the ESPN reporter, or I guess former ESPN reporter. First off, she successfully settled her case with ESPN and Disney, and then left. Right? She said, "quote I decided to leave so I can exercise my First Amendment rights more freely." Remember, she's the one who was talking to Jay Cutler about the vaccine and how she thought it was weird that she was being forced to take it, and she didn't like it. Well, now, so she
good. Fuck ESPN, by the way. You can't just fire people for their thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, and I think that's starting to come out now.
What a weird, ugly time we're living in, scaring the shit out of everyone for having an interview, giving an opinion. So
yeah,
good. ESPN, you fuck right off.
Yeah. So she was just on Megyn Kelly's show, and she told a story about being on The View in 2014 and an encounter she had with Barbar Walters in the green room. So I'll let her tell the story.
It was right after that segment with the Obama segment, and we went in the back, and so it was Barbara, Whoopi, and myself in the dark green room off to the side. I was probably about 4 feet from the wall and the trash can, and Barbara was standing over here in front of me, and she just started to back up towards me and looked at me and got close and elbowed me and then pushed me back into the wall in the trash can. I was like, what did this just do to me? Like, this 140-year-old woman just tried to like tackle me. What is happening right now? And some of the producers saw it. Whoopi saw it. And Whoopi was like, come here. And she was great. And she pulled me aside in her little area. And she's like, don't you let her do it. And I'm like, am I in a movie right now? A legend, one of the legends in this industry just tried to beat me up.
Yeah.
Was she talking shit about the Obamas or something?
Unclear, but it's just by the way, Barbar Walters created, produced, and co-hosted The View for 17 seasons. That was the last year she was on. So a representative for Barbar Walters, who is maybe what Sonny's future job is going to be, responded saying, quote, I find this impossible to believe and uncharacteristic of Barbara.
It seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
But if you have that part where Whoopi corroborated, like said, come over here and sit down, like somebody witnessed
when
something.
Producers saw, yeah, so
she's an old woman. She could be a little spastic. You don't know.
And you said it yourself. Women, they reflexively will swing at you.
Women will get physical much faster than guys get physical with you, because when guys get physical, it's now on, and there could be a lot of damage. So they don't cross the line as fast as women, is my take. And they're mean. Women are meaner than men. Men may be worse, like, we have tyrannical dictators and stuff, but women on average are meaner. They're just meaner, like birds are mean.
Either way, Whoopi's team has yet to respond, and so we'll wait to hear more. But that was Sage's account from The View.
I don't know if it was in 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks, but my counting of The View, I've never been more spot on about anything, and they've never disappointed. But early money on the Yentas from the View in that book somewhere. I don't know if Dawson has it somewhere, but we'll see. But continue.
Okay, so big news in the world of sports: Spain has just taken home the gold in Women's World Cup.
Good.
Beat England. Good.
Yeah.
You're cheering for them?
I hate the American team.
So you already won after the first round.
Just a bunch of complainers, and I hate ingrates. So good.
Right. So Spain beat England, but the real
not only did they lose to Sweden, so poetic, because Sweden never closed down during COVID, and not only did that bitch Megan Rapinoe miss her penalty kick.
Yeah,
I'm sure she got beat. I'm sure Megan Rapinoe was one of these ones who are screaming at everyone to get vaccinated and wear a mask and all the other bullshit. Got beat by the country that never closed their schools, and beat by her hotter, younger doppelganger. The sweetest chick just looked like a hot version of Megan Rapinoe. So it was a complete disaster, but glorious
That must
and
have been
poetic.
like porn for you.
Poetic for me.
Yeah. So, so Megan Rapinoe, she actually, and then she like laughed after she missed the penalty kick, and everyone was talking about how she was laughing. But
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone deals with things differently.
yeah, that's what it was.
I
yeah.
don't care.
I think so too. All right. Well, anyway, so Spain wins, but more people are talking about the president of their team who kissed one of their teammates on the mouth while celebrating the victory. So here he is on the very right of the screen. You can see him. He's the bald guy, and he's that's Jenni Hermoso, one of the players. So so you can see he kissed her. Is this video, Ben, or is this just a picture? Okay. There it is. Boom. Grabbed her by the back of the head, kissed her. Well, so Jenni was on Instagram Live, and somebody asked her what she thought about the kiss, and she responded, "Oh, I didn't like it." So now people are going, "Okay, well, he forced herself on her, grabbed her by the back of the head." And now he has gone on to apologize.
Oh
He
my!
made a video.
We
It's
could
in
have had an
Spanish, so-
award winner for Get Some Asthma.
No.
But he backed down.
Well, he is getting some asthma then.
Yeah.
So here's part of the apology. It's in Spanish. I'll just read you the translation. Quote, "There's an event which I have to regret, which is everything that happened between the player and I, with a magnificent relationship between the two of us, the same as with the others. And well, I surely made a mistake. I have to recognize that. In a moment of elation, without any intention of bad faith, what happened was, I think, in a very spontaneous way, but there was no bad faith between either of the two of us. If there are people who have felt offended, I have to say I'm sorry." And Jenni Hermoso, the player, although she initially said she didn't like it, has gone on saying, "Look, that was a natural gesture of affection. It was in the moment.
Can we just keep walking? Like, can we just keep walking? Do I have to granularly break down every event? This is somewhere between no duh, no shit.
Yeah.
Who cares? First off, Europeans are all grandfathered in with the kissing. They do all the kissing.
That's how they
on there.
greet each other.
You would insult somebody in Europe if you didn't give them a kiss. If they wanted to give them, if a woman wanted to give me a kiss and I put my hand out for Howie Mandel, she'd be insulted. Like,
he'd be ousted.
Number one, number two. Whatever this thing is, like, I've been violated. No, you've been celebrated. This guy was celebrating.
Yeah, he was pumped.
Well, let's. God, we have to. So crazy.
I know. And if you Google Spain winning World Cup, more of the kissing story pops up than them actually winning the gold. Which is
I know,
sad.
and it just takes away. But it's her fault, and I'll tell you why it's her fault. Because everyone has to defuse all the zero burgers from Jump Street. When you get interviewed, like, how'd that feel? Oh, I didn't like. Just go. It was no big deal. You know, maybe had a couple glasses of wine. You know, but we were there to celebrate. I get it. Like, just boom, immediate diffusion. Just moving on.
Yeah. I agree. Well, anyway, congratulations to Spain. All right. So Queen is in the news.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Queen? I never hear you really talk about them. And you like good music.
Queen has some good songs, and then Queen has some sort of bad songs that I'm forced to hear more than their good songs.
Yeah.
You know, like another one, Rides the Bus, and like We Are the Champions and stuff, where they're kind of good. Like,
Bites the Dust.
No, sorry, the other one, Bites the Dust. I'm thinking of
That Weird Al version.
Weird Al version.
Yeah.
Because I was yelling in the car about what a hack that guy is. But so I got on it. But yeah, look, I never have to hear We Are the Champions ever again. And I never have to hear another one, Bites the
What are some
Dust.
songs you like?
I'd have to take a look. You'd have to scroll them past me. But I like some, Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay. About all bands, any band that I would call interesting, you're halfway home. If you're just doing stuff that's interesting, stuff that's a little bit different, stuff that's interesting, then I'm kind of in. I kind of like bands that do interesting stuff. And Queen was an interesting band, Also, my theory with Queen, which is always weird, which is they named the band Queen, but they don't know Freddie Mercury's gay.
Very weird.
And then he goes out and struts as gay as you can strut, and they're like, what a showman. I bet that guy gets all the ladies. And then at a certain point, he's like, fuck it, I'll get AIDS.
Guys,
I got to break my
named
point.
it Queen.
I don't
Come
know
on.
how else to get this across to you that I am gay. So I will get full-blown AIDS, and now you'll know. But I didn't want to have to do it. That's why I named the band Queen.
Yeah.
But none of you would listen. So that's my Queen theory. Now this is one of the Fat Bottom Girls
so the
song. It's just
story is-
another one of their kind of weird,
I don't like this
interesting,
song.
but not a good song.
But yeah, so they have a new greatest hits collection that's being targeted for younger listeners on this audio platform called Yodo.
What's on the greatest hits? And I can tell you the good and the bad, but keep
All right,
going.
you got Bohemian Rhapsody, Somebody to Love, which is probably
Good.
my favorite.
Yeah, good.
Another one, Bites the Dust, We'll Rock You, We're the Champions.
No, We'll Rock It now.
Yeah.
The Champions now. So Fat Bottom Girls.
Fat Bottom Girls was omitted, and they haven't given a reason, but I mean, but they're all implying like, look, this is targeted towards kids. We're trying to, but yeah, a lot of people up in arms about saying it's the woke mob.
Well, Fat Bottom Girls, you make the rockin' world go round. Fat Bottom Girls, you make the rockin' world go. Interesting band, and I respect them, but I never hung out and just sort of listened to Queen.
Yeah,
Queen was one of those.
you can tell
Every
that they were-
fourth song on the radio out here plays Queen, so that's enough.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury, incredible
Yes.
vocalist. But so during an interview with the AV Club, Michael McKean said that Fat Bottom Girls was the influence for the song
Big Bottoms. Oh man, yeah, good.
So,
Well, it's
you're
also-
always happy it exists, right?
Is
'Cause-
it that that he's saying you rock? Basically, he's kind of
Yeah, put up the lyrics. Ben.
He's
I
not
wanna see these
doing-
lyrics.
He's only doing what Lizzo did, right? Like, oh, big and large and in charge
celebrating
and hot.
this.
Like Lizzo was celebrating morbid obesity.
Yeah.
Did he say anything disparaging in there? It's like Fat Bottom Girls who make the rockin' world go round.
yeah.
But what also, I mean, wasn't Sir Mix-a-Lot doing the exact same thing?
Yes, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yes. All right.
So yeah, I don't know, but they're people are attributing this to cancel culture, but who knows? I mean, the song's not great, so I don't care. I don't really care,
I don't
that
care
much.
either. Yeah, keep it off the best of. It shouldn't have been a contender for the best of.
Yeah.
You got that chapter?
We don't need to hear it again.
No. Do you have the view?
Yeah, this is from In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks. You're about 38 years on top of that. I know I'm a guy, so I'm supposed to hate The View. But I don't hate The View because I have a dick. I hate The View because I have a brain. The View is going on what feels like its 35th season. It has numerous Emmy nominations and even an Emmy win. And it's a disjointed, scattered piece of shit that's hosted by some of the least compelling, most untalented people that have graced a television set. If this show consisted of five guys sitting around talking over each other with the occasional hackneyed joke awkwardly shoehorned into the meaningless conversation, it would have been yanked off the air years ago. You see, at 10 in the morning, all the smart people are at work, and that leaves The View's audience. Barbar Walters is about as interesting and funny as the one old teacher you had in junior high. I know everyone treats her like some kind of national treasure, but she's clearly past her prime. And no one at the show would dare utter a word. It's about the same relationship Saddam Hussein shared with his coworkers. When she finally decides to hang up her dentures and call it a career, there will be a silent celebration akin to what the guards did after the Wicked Witch got a bucket of water tossed on her. On her last show, the lavalier mics will be recording a lot of "We'll miss you, we'll stay in touch, and we don't know how we'll carry on without you." But the internal monologues will skew a little more toward "Have fun on the Greyhound bus to hell, bitch." Sherry Shepherd is dumb. She reads one book and it's the Bible. She's not ha-ha funny. She's more, we need a fat chick who's not funny. Elizabeth Hasselbeck gets a pass. She's already being punished on a daily basis. Could you imagine your lot in life was to be wedged between Barbar Walters and Sherry Shepherd? She's the lunch meat between a stale piece of sourdough and the dumbest slab of pumpernickel to ever hit the day-old bin at the bakery. Whoopi Goldberg. What happened to the unstoppable force of comedy that had us doubled over with spun gold such as Burglar, Jumping Jack Flash, and Eddie? An Emmy for The View and an Oscar for Ghost. She deserves those about as much as Elvis deserved his black belt in Taekwondo. Joy Behar. She's the funny one. That's like saying Marwan al-Shehi was one of the funniest of the 9/11 hijackers.
All right, we get it. I don't like The View, but they suck, right? I mean, there's no way you couldn't present that show to intelligent people. You just couldn't do it. There'd be no audience. But they've done 37 years and have 5,000 Emmys.
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
But is it lack of competition too? I mean,
I don't know. They're like, and they're frequently cited too. Like, hey, did you hear what the ladies from The View had to say about whatever they're wrong about this week? For me, what really made me hate The View is that woman who had a salon, I think in Texas, and was complying with all the COVID stuff, but she wanted to keep her salon open. She was a single mom and a small business owner.
Yeah, I remember.
And they wanted to shut her down, and all the ladies from The View turned on her. The ladies from The View turned on the lady small business owner while they worked remotely and got their multi-million-dollar paychecks. They wanted her and all the poor women who work for her shut down and out of business. And I'm like, fuck that. That if you can't muster, and I know you're all brainwashed with COVID. I know you've all been lied to, and you're all team whoever's pitching for COVID. But if you can't find a little decency for this woman, then fuck you.
Pitching for COVID, Barbara Ferrer threw out the first pitch of the latest Dodger game.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Find that.
Had to be underhand. All right.
hollow ball. Yeah.